Hey everyone! Welcome to part 2 of the video, and I'm sure you've noticed, but it's been over 2 months since I posted part 1, and I'm very sorry for that, but I'm also very grateful that you guys have stuck along with me, so thank you very much. I'm very excited that I finally passed 1,000 subscribers. I'm pretty sure when I posted the first part I was under 1,000, and now I'm over 1,200. So I will definitely be doing a special live stream with Q&A and drawing and maybe gaming, and it'll be great. And I've also decided to start doing regular streams as well, just, I don't know, as part of what I do. Part way to provide more content, something that's motivational, something that we can all do together, and plus I want to motivate myself to actually at least keep to that much of a practice schedule. This has been my hardest semester in school that I've ever had. It's my 7th semester in school, and it's definitely been the toughest, but finally finals are over and everything's great. I passed my second actuary exam, so that means I have 5 more until I'm a fully credentialed actuary. Anyway, moving on, here you're seeing me working in traditional, something I haven't really been doing for this challenge. This is because I had to go home for the weekend to visit my parents and my family, and I couldn't bring my computer, but I still wanted to keep practicing. So I brought my sketchbook, some pencils, and my Copics. And I remember working on this and feeling like I definitely feel a lot more comfortable in digital now, because I feel like my skills just aren't great enough to, put exactly what I want down on the paper on the first try. As you can see, I have a lot of messy sketches because I just can't draw it quite right within the first few times, so it sort of stains the paper and I can't get as clean of a result as I really want. And also, I'm just not very versed in using these mediums. Earlier on, you saw that I was trying to use the Copic marker on top of a pencil sketch. I wasn't even sure what would happen. I didn't know whether it would keep the graphite in place or if it would smudge or anything, because I usually line over my pencil, erase all the graphite, and then use my marker over it. I find it very hard to quote-unquote ruin a drawing in order to learn more about the medium and push my skill limit, I guess. And that's something I definitely was working on during this challenge. I was just thinking about how, in a year, in 2 years, I'm not gonna care about these drawings. Like, these drawings are just a stepping stone on the way to what I want to be. What I'll care about is what I learned while doing these drawings. Like, how did I learn about the way that this marker interacts with the paper? How do I learn about the way this marker interacts with the pencil and the pens that I use? If you know what I mean. And so here I've been trying to use my lead holder, and I really want to like the lead holder, but it feels so weird. I remember one of my friends using a lead holder just to do math in class, and I thought it was the coolest thing, so I went out and bought one. But someone can probably explain this to me, but A, it's always dull so fast and you have to keep sharpening it, and that's something I never have to deal with using mechanical pencils. B, it feels really hard to erase. I'm really not sure why, but I kind of treat it more like using ink than pencil whenever I use a lead holder, because it just never erases very easily. And I really don't know why. Someone can probably explain that to me. Anyway, that's my experience with lead holders. Maybe I'll keep giving them a try, but they've been kind of a hassle. As you can see here, I'm using my regular process of making the sketch, inking it, erasing all the pencil, and then using markers, and I feel like that's a very clean look, and I do like it, but I do need to work on things such as line weight and stuff like that. Like, you can see here, it's all just one line weight. I just sort of traced it. And here I was starting to experiment with other ways to shade the drawing without using marker. I've always really appreciated just ink work. And I really tried my best to make it work out, and I looked up different examples on Google Images and I sort of copied them to greater or lesser effect, but I'm kind of happy with everything I learned trying to render these drawings. And of course, after I finished the 25 hand drawings I needed for this challenge, quote unquote needed, I get really inspired to keep drawing. So, therefore, while I was staying up late one night watching Legend of Korra, I copied down a bunch of the hand signs from Naruto because they were fun to draw and they were hand-based, and that was exciting. And I think they turned out really well, which was kind of shocking to me and really great. And here I am sort of mirroring what I did at the beginning. Like the first thing I drew at the beginning of part 1 was hands without reference. And so I sort of wanted to repeat that test so I had something to really compare to. After all, it wouldn't really be fair to compare my drawings looking at a picture of a hand to ones that I made without looking. I remember feeling really excited being able to produce these images. I'm looking at them now and I see that they're not perfect, but I didn't have that same feeling of complete confusion and being lost as I did at the very beginning. Now I actually knew, oh hey, this is kind of a weird shape. I don't remember hands being this shape. Let me fix it this way to make it more hand-shaped and convey that form in a way that I want to. And since I'd been practicing these specific hand poses, I was able to sort of try to recreate them in the best way I could, where ordinarily I would think that these hands would be way too complicated to come up with in my mind. And of course, I guess the goal of learning how to draw isn't to come up with these things, at least for me right now. That's like level 5. I want to be at level 2, which is remembering what I've seen and practiced and being able to recreate that. And so here is one of those Naruto hand signs from memory. And I realize now that I feel like the hands look okay, it's just that the hand sign isn't right because I didn't remember exactly how it went. You know, it's fine. Overall, I'm really happy with how much progress I was able to make in such a short time, I think. And here I move on to making drawings of my hand as a reference. I don't think they turned out as well as I wanted them to, but I feel like they turned out okay. And I feel safe as long as I can draw from my hand, you know, because my hands can make whatever shape I want, and as long as I have them as a drawing tool, then I'll be fine. So a little more information on my, I guess, celebratory stream. I am now in winter break mode for school, so I can probably stream at any time or a day that I want to. So I'm gonna put up a poll on the community tab on my channel. So if you wanna go there and tell me when you want me to stream that you can watch, that would be great. And of course, give me suggestions as far as what you wanna see. And also, I'll be streaming to both Twitch and YouTube at the same time, so you don't have to go anywhere you don't want to. I'll post another video with all the information once I confirm it, so that'll be great. And here at the end, I wanted to make a sort of final project picture that kind of shows off everything I've been able to learn over the past few weeks. I was thinking of making it some sort of portrait of someone doing something with their hands, but then I realized that I'm not really good at drawing the rest of the person, and I don't want my poor figure/portrait skills to detract from how much I've learned about drawing hands, so I wanted to go for something that just involved the hands. And my mind went to shadow puppets, because it really is an art form just involving the hands. And I found this adorable video, and I decided to copy this particular pose of this person making a bunny with their hands. And I guess I was kind of surprised at how easy it was for me to copy it down. Of course, I'm not going to say that I drew it perfectly or anything. I think that it turned out really well, and I didn't struggle as much as I thought I would making a drawing like this. I feel like hands are so intricate, and if someone told me to draw this, like, a week before I started this challenge, I would go into this really hesitantly. But now that I've been through all this practice, it just seemed like another hand, and I was able to complete it relatively well. I'm pretty happy with how it turned out, which I feel like is a major step. Now that I'm looking at myself inking this drawing, I feel like I definitely have a lot to work on when it comes to varying the line weights. I'm not very confident with my lines, and what I mean by that is, whenever I guess, put my pen down onto the tablet, I'm not 100% sure where that line is going to end up. A lot of times I overshoot or undershoot, or it's hard for me to line up exactly where I want to put it. That's definitely part of it. And also, I don't really know how to apply the line weight. I remember watching a video a long time ago, and they were talking about putting the line weights darker and thicker wherever there's a shadow or wherever two lines intersect and things like that. And it all kind of went over my head. And so that's something I definitely need to work on because it just looks so flat. It looks like a coloring book page or something, and that's not really the look I'm going for. I definitely feel really excited to be using Photoshop's other tools in order to complete this drawing. I was thinking, man, that sounds kind of rough to have to redraw this, and I realized, oh yeah, I can just copy the color and then copy it over and fix it up a bit, so that was pretty cool. For the coloring, I really wanted to do a really stark contrast between the light parts and the shadow parts, as if there was this huge bright light shining on it. And there's going to be these bright highlights in sharp contrast to the shadow parts of the hand that are completely dark. And I did that first by finding where the deepest shadows are and painting them completely black. And unfortunately, I think as I went, I blended it out maybe a bit too much, and so it sort of turned it all into a sort of silvery gray instead of bright white and completely dark blacks. But I definitely do feel really happy with the way it turned out. Oh yeah, and for the background shadow, I definitely redrew over some parts where it didn't look quite like a bunny. It's okay, don't worry about it. And also I applied like a Gaussian blur to it, and I made just a circular gradient in the back to sort of represent the shadow that was being created from the light. And I think it definitely conveyed what I was going for, and I'm really proud of this picture. Of course, there is a huge glaring mistake that I didn't catch until after I was finished recording everything. If you can see it on my drawing, comment below and shame me. Anyway, I definitely feel like I've made a huge amount of progress over the course of this challenge. I definitely feel very proud of how much effort I put into it and the fact that I really completed it. Unfortunately, after 2 months of not really practicing drawing, I'm kind of afraid to pick it back up and realize how much information I've lost. But looking at the big picture, it's not actually that long compared to the breaks I've taken before. So I'm very excited to do so much drawing over winter break. I'm going to be streaming regularly, so I'll get at least that much practice. Stay tuned for a video outlining all the information about my streams once I set all that up. Thanks for watching and have a wonderful day. Keep practicing and you'll hear from me very soon.